Nobody's more surprised that I'm making a video than I am. This is good news. I was washing dishes and I was told, go make a video. It was like it came to me what I needed to say. I haven't had that since, wow, it's been a few months. I took a bath this morning, long hot bath, washed my face, put on makeup, did my hair, because I'm going to go watch a band this afternoon that I'm so excited to see. So I'm going to go watch them. They're going to be here in Newport from 3 to 6, and I'm going to go shake my groove thing. It's like, I feel good. I finally feel good. I feel so good. I've been guided to make a video. And so I'm going to explain, I think, what's been going on with me over this last few months of these journeys. They are not for sissies. The stuff that I've experienced, it's like there's very few people who've been on the journey with me because I had to literally disappear. I was told the third Sunday in May during a Zoom call, I had like 10, 12 people on the screen. It was like I was just given this knowing that I was disappearing. And so, of course, I'm trying to figure it out, like, who am I disappearing from? Those three people? Or I just had no idea. I just knew I was told I was disappearing. Soon I heard that I'm being summoned. So I'm disappearing and I'm being summoned. Okay, like, okay, whatever. So I'm in surrender. So I just go wherever. And it got really interesting. It got really, really, really dark. I was this close to, well, I would okay. I'm not dark. I'm not dark. I swear I'm in a really good space. I was that close to pleading with God to taking my life because I could not take it anymore, what I was putting myself through, but I was doing everything that I just had to do for a very specific reason. Everything I just went through, I know a lot of people know pieces, parts of it. They know little bits of it. They don't know the whole stories, but I was on a mission. I was on a God-driven mission to try and crack people. And I mean, something had to give and something gave. And so that's why I've come out on the other side. And I am so grateful. So while I was doing dishes, I was told, well, I basically had a conversation start in my head. And that's when I was told, this is what you need to go record. And I think it's a really important thing to talk about because apparently I didn't cover it enough over the last 23 years. And maybe I should have, but we are where we are. So as most people know, 23 years ago, I had a child. I was a vessel to bring a person onto this planet and totally had her removed because it was a C-section. When that kid was born, I was just off the heels of an entire life as a victim. I was no longer a victim, but all I knew prior to 3 years prior to my child being born was being a victim, a card-carrying victim. I was depressed. I was suicidal. I kept wanting to die. It was like when I was suicidal, the 3 times I had the pills, and then I was going to throw myself off the ship that I was on. I even wrote the note before I went on a cruise ship. I was gone. It was like the damn voices in my head. They wouldn't let me do it. It was never an outside voice from family ever saying, we love you. We need you to stay. It was never that because I didn't have that kind of a family. So it always had to come from within. That it was always, you've got this. You've got this. You've got this. I had that always going and I kept arguing with it, but I kept getting it. Apparently it worked. So it dawned on me when my child has her partner and her partner's mother is depressed. And she comes to me and her girlfriend, and they're like, you don't understand what it's like, Cari. Because they've never seen a weak woman in me. They've never seen me with the ability to be depressed. So when I say I was like a card-carrying victim that wished for death and I had no idea how to adult, I was a disaster of a human being, drug, sex, and rock and roll. I mean, anything. I did not have a role model in my life ever. So just once you go out in the big world and it's like, okay, now what are we supposed to do? You know, you had to get a job. But then what? It's like I had no role model about relationships, finance, anything. My mother married 5 men, and how many times we have our cars towed away from bankruptcy? So I had no role model. ever about anything. And so it was like literally like it's like baby steps for the first time when you're sent out from my house. You just didn't know how to live. The role model was just don't do what I did. So I just knew life sucked. All people sucked. You couldn't trust people. The way my mom loved men, it was like the way I didn't know how to love men. I didn't know how to get attention, or yeah, it was tough. So I had a horrible time, horrible childhood, but I got through it. I married somebody at 26. I met this guy on an airplane. It was a magical fairy tale. It's on all the books that I've written, and one day one will be out. Magical fairy tale. I mean, there were angels involved in this meeting. And this man took me from Las Vegas, brought me to Ohio with him. Or just Cinderella story, swept me off my feet. Oh, it's heaven. And then I found out right after I got there that wherever you go, there you are. But now I was thousands of miles away from family and friends. And I was with this man who would get in my face and be like, he was like, he never would hit me. I made it clear, you'll never lay a hand on me. But I never said, you'll never emotionally abuse me. I didn't know what that was. So he was in my face, always telling me how my life was and what I was allowed to do and what I was not allowed to do, because women all cheat. We can't help it. Girls, come on, admit it. We can't help it. Which a guy walks by, it's like, all right, fine. I have no, but I couldn't say no. He told me I had to, right? Is that it? Or are we that weak? We just say we had, whatever. I won't go there. So yeah, it was a horrible life, but it was that path and that depression. My daughter does not know how seriously depressed I was. I mean, I was smoking 3 packs a day. I was like, I was the angriest woman. I hated myself. I despised myself. When I saw myself, like I would walk, we had this mirror in the hall. And I remember I walked by it once and I was in a red t-shirt. My hair was bobbed here straight. I mean, I remember exactly how I looked when I caught a glimpse of myself and I turned and I looked, I was just like, the feeling, wow, that I had toward that woman in the mirror was such disgust. I swear, I pulled back my fist and I remember I was shaking it and I wanted to hit that glass so bad. I wanted it to just shatter because I would hope, but I knew that wouldn't do anything except for give me a bloody hand. So yeah, I went from hating myself back in those days, and I ended up leaving that man because I got books that gave me the power, the courage to take it that one more step. I've had no help getting me anywhere on my journey. So I've done all this on my own. That's why it's taking me as long as it has. And that's why now I know I'm going to hold these retreats and people are going to come to me and 5 days later, they're going to leave and they're going to be like, people will not know them at all. They will be new humans when they leave my retreats. Because, you know why? I'll just say it now anyway. I've already posted it. When they come to my retreats, it's going to be like a questionnaire. It's going to be, I've got to narrow it down to who can actually come, because I'm going to say, when you come to this retreat, you're going to come and you're going to bare your soul completely, and we're going to figure out what's holding you back, and you're going to walk out not held back anymore. And the reason they can do that is because I'm not allowing friends, partners, sisters, roommates. I want you to come like it's Fantasy Island, that old TV show. Nobody knows you. You know no one there. No one will know anyone else. So everyone will be able to come and be as raw and as open as they want. They can come use a fake name. I don't even care. But I expect people to come and just be authentic. And I'm going to crack people open. 12 strangers. That's what it came to me that I'm calling it. So I'm going to be doing these retreats. And this whole time I've been thinking that I can't do anything because I've got a 13-and-a-half-year-old dog. And I have been very limited because of her mobility. And she was recently hurt, and I'm small. She's smaller than me, but it's still too much for me to lift. So yeah. So I just thought, I have to stay here with her, kind of wait. And then when she transitions to non-physical, then I go on with my life. And so this whole process that I had to go through over these last few months, that was about the dog and it was about this process. But now that I know this dog is healthy as a horse, she might live forever. So I just have to come up with another way to move about the cabin. I was looking at getting RVs. It was a perfect solution. Get like a 24-foot RV. She can just move around while I'm driving. But the thought that I have to learn RV and learn emptying the tank. It's like, I don't want to learn how to do an RV. This is not in my dream. It's not on my list. I would do it so we could travel, but that's not it. So maybe my house will sell and I'll get a transit van. I don't know, but I'm going to start traveling and I'm going to start doing these retreats and I'm going to start doing these things that I needed to do, because now this thing behind me is behind me. And I will tell you one thing right now. I didn't know there was a God, but now I know. I call it God now. It used to be universe. But one thing I have learned, you cannot, and I, with my husband and my daughter and stuff in my old life, I unplugged. Oh, I pulled plugs out like crazy. I've unplugged so much. But I still was plugged into my husband to a point, and I didn't realize the extent. But this whole thing I had to go through, this darkness I had to go through, it was because I came here. A part of our plan, my daughter, my husband, and I, was I would leave and then I would take them to this place to try to make them crack the life that I lived with my husband and daughter is a reality that I cannot even comprehend that I ever lived in. And it took the help of a good friend showing up recently here, and she doesn't even know it yet. Lolly Martinez Newmiller. She's a friend from school. We knew each other back then, not a whole bunch, but we knew of each other. We talked, we were in things together. But she came out here with her husband, Mike. We just hung. In just small conversations with her, she reminded me of who I was and where I came from. She took me home to my roots. And that was a really good thing. But then it got one better, because there's a man that moved in 4 houses down that I talked to the other day. And he moved to Oregon from Michigan. He has 2 sons that live in Portland. And so what a great dad. He moved to Oregon to be near his kids. And then when he got to Portland, he saw the cost of living. Hello, Oregon is like almost as much as California right now. Californians, we're just making this all California good. So he moved here, and the only thing he could afford from Michigan, because it's not a lot to live in Michigan. This house, a couple houses down, he has to do a lot of construction on it. But this man, it's like he just wanted to be by his kids. And he spent what he could to buy this house that he has to work a lot to live in. And I just thought, it made me realize that I don't need any of this stuff that I have. It's like it made me go back to my roots between Lolly and this man. I have an ocean view trailer, manufactured home, on the Oregon coast. I don't need any of this. It's like, I don't deserve any of this. There's no such thing as any of that. It's like, I love nature and I want to be in nature. I don't need this. I could just have a house in the woods and I would be happy. I don't have to have a view. And I've just known that I just had to have this to get away, to get my life started. This was the perfect place to start, to get my stuff in Yale Huts, the stuff in Puyallup, put everything under one roof and unpack for a minute. And this room actually is not unpacked yet. I'm not showing you the other side because I haven't finished. It's like, this is not home. This isn't home. This was my escape hatch that I desperately needed to get out of Puyallup. And now I've gone through this darkness that I will explain in another video. This is going long enough, but I'm out of the darkness. What I had to accomplish, I accomplished. It was a matter of something had to crack. And I was at the lowest possible low I could get to without literally wanting to no longer be on this planet. When I finally saw, it's like I saw the crack and I saw all the stuff slip through the cracks. Is that where that comes from? That was the stuff I have not seen in 27 years that I needed to see to make me go like, it's like my aha, like, oh my, it just, yeah. So I had it, and it's so you cannot lie to God about being unplugged. And so now, as far as my husband is concerned, there is no connection. I have, and there is nothing. It's like, and I did tell some old friends of ours, I said, you might want to tell him, because he doesn't ever take anything I say seriously because he's clueless. I said, you better make sure he doesn't try to come to Oregon, because if it's like I have moved on so far that the thought of seeing him, it'd just be like, I might vomit. I would call the police and I would say, please take him away. I won't let that energy shift in me ever again. And it can't. So I am back. I've had so many things coming through me. I've written so much over the last, how many months have I been gone? I don't even know. I haven't seen any friends, haven't talked to anybody, just to say where I have been, because this is wild. I had to get away. I walked away, not walked away. I would disappeared from every single human I've known, except for one friend. It's like I have just those few that know when to text, when to reach out. But one she just knows. She knows when to call. And Connie, it's like, she called one night. She called one night when I probably could have taken my own life. Yeah, it was a bad night. But I didn't go there. No, I know that's not my role. No, I know checkup points of mine. I am here to do so much. Yesterday was the last few days have been magical. Things are starting to unfold for me again. I am back. I am so happy. And I have a for sale-ish sign on my door. It's like, I'm not advertising my house is for sale, because I know I've already shown it 4 times. Because I know the person who needs to have it will come, and it's cash only in these places. So they pay me cash. I get my transit van and off we go. I don't even know what it is. I just know I'm ready and I can do this anywhere. So enjoy this background while I have it. Because I hope it to be a cactus and a mountain and a forest and another ocean. I'll be back. Oh my God, I'm happy to be back.